It's NYCC here with another video where I'm going to be talking about the Noir Comic Con 2015 figures that have been shown. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Marvel Legends 3 3/4" series. So yeah, I am going to be making many videos of this. I've either already posted or I will be posting the my review of the Marvel Legends 6-inch figures that have been shown, as well as I am going to be making several videos talking about the toy line / figures that I'm most interested in. So yeah, so overall this is quite exciting. Obviously the 3 3/4" Marvel Comics series has gone through some major changes in the past years. Obviously there was a very successful and popular Marvel Universe series, which they did end up canceling and turning it into a Marvel Infinite series, which was very not well received. The packaging design was really bad in my opinion, and the figures went down in quality. Either they were just repaints or they went down in quality with bad sculpts, and now they seem to be trying to take it into a better direction by just doing it as a Marvel Legends series, but subtitling it the 3 3/4". So now we do have a Marvel Legends 6-inch and a Marvel Legends 3 3/4" series, which I think is a good idea. I mean, this is what they do with the Black Series for Star Wars, so I think that it is nice to follow suit with it with Marvel. And then they have shown our first wave of this, and this wave looks interesting. Overall, there's not a single figure in this wave that I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for. And so that is very unfortunate, but there isn't really any figure that I'm just like, oh, that looks terrible or anything like that. So overall, first of all, let me just talk about the packaging. I think the packaging looks great compared to the Infinite series. I like the bubble, the fact that it does like have the lines here and it isn't just that plain square like the Infinite series had, as well as we are getting artwork from the characters, which I think is great. It's kind of this packaging style is kind of a combination of the Marvel universe as well as Infinite series of those packaging designs. Kind of a mixture of both. I don't think it looks perfect, but I do think that it looks pretty decent, so I am happy about that. I will be talking about the images that were shown at New York Comic Con, as well as the official images, because those have been released. So some closer images of the packaging. Now we get on to the individual figures. Here we have Elk, or Ulik. I don't really know how to pronounce this guy's name, and I know nothing about the character. This character doesn't even look familiar to me, and you know, typically if there's a character that's released in one of these comic toy lines that I don't know much about, I still can recognize him. Like, usually I'll know his name, or at least I'll be able to know him just by his look, because I've seen him before. This character I know nothing about. It looks like an interesting figure. It does seem to be reusing the Abomination A-Bomb Rhino mold, which is a fantastic mold in my opinion. Some great articulation there. I just don't know the character at all. And this artwork shows him as pretty tough, but not this big. I mean, this is, you know, massive. This is a massive body, and the artwork seems to have him as pretty strong, maybe Colossus size, but I don't know about Abomination size. I think that's just a little too big. But like I said, I don't really know the character. So overall, I'm excited to get this on because I like the mold that it's using. I'm just not into the character. This is probably my most anticipated figure from this wave. It's Yondu, which is very cool. Obviously, Yondu is now a well-known Marvel character due to his inclusion in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And he obviously has a very different look in the comics, but a look that I did know, so was able to recognize it, of course. And he looks really nice, I have to say. The sculpt seems to be in a Hawkeye mold. I'm not quite sure if there's torso articulation. I'll have to take a look when we get to the official images, but overall it does seem to be using that kind of Hawkeye mold, the old Hawkeye mold from Marvel Universe, but it looks pretty cool. His quiver is all the one color, which is a shame. I would like some detail in there, as well as the arrow itself is all one color, and his bow, it's all that one just kind of mustard yellow. I would have liked some more detail there, but overall, character-wise, I am excited to get him. Then we have the Iron Man Mark 1. This is just a repaint, I believe, of the Mark 1 they've released, you know, in the gold version. I do like the silver version more, and I'll consider this one, but I have the gold one, so I don't really think that I need this one. But, you know, it's a good character for them to do. A nice repaint, I think. Then we move on to Trident. Again, another character that I don't know at all. I don't know who Trident is. I mean, his look looks somewhat familiar, but overall, I'm not quite familiar with this character. He looks pretty decent. He looks like he uses an old-style mold from Marvel Legends or Universe. However, I'm not quite sure if there's torso articulation. I'll have to take a look at that. Overall, though, nothing too special in my opinion. He looks alright, and a character that I'm not super excited about. Yeah, there is no ball jointed upper torso, which is a shame. I mean, this torso is sculpted really nicely, actually. I like the lines in it a lot, but there's no ball jointed upper torso. He'll probably have a swivel, or maybe he won't, actually. I don't know, but that is definitely a shame. They seem to be kind of using a Marvel Universe, the old style of Marvel Universe articulation for the arms and legs and everything, but then using that Infinite Series articulation of basically none in the torso. That's a shame there. Then we have Spider-Man Noir. Again, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I don't know who this guy is. This guy doesn't look even half familiar to me. I have no idea who he is. His sculpt looks like it's that Marvel Legends 6-inch Nick Fury that came out a few years back. It kind of has that look to it. I think there's some great texture in the pants and shirt there. I just don't know this character in the slightest. I've never heard of him, and I don't recognize him at all. So that's a shame, but the figure itself doesn't look too bad. Let's see here. He does have an upper torso articulation, which is very nice. And he's a completely new sculpt from what I can tell. I don't think that this sculpt at all has been used in a 3 3/4 inch series, so that's exciting. Then we have Captain Marvel, which is quite nice, and of course with her getting her own movie, it is good that they are pushing her toys, because they did have a 6-inch version of this character come out not too long ago in the Odin wave, so I am very excited to get this one. Looks like a good figure. I can't tell the articulation up in the arms here. You know, this actually looks like it's using that Infinite Series mold. That's a shame. Never mind, the articulation isn't good, actually. That's a bummer. She will have a pivot at the ankle, which is fantastic, but the lack of torso articulation is definitely a big miss, as well as, I believe that this is a single hinge elbow. Maybe there's a swivel in there. I hope there's a swivel in there, but there definitely isn't a swivel at the bicep. So that's disappointing. Really wish that they could have used a modern Marvel Universe body instead of the Marvel Infinite Series. So yeah. And then there you can see the back of the packaging with the other figures. Going over the official images. Overall, I think that their official images for both the 6-inch and 3 3/4 inch of the Marvel Legends have been fantastic. I really love the way that they did them and the backgrounds that they took them on. And here's a nice close look. Yeah, I'm thinking that there isn't a swivel at the elbow there. That's a big shame. That's disappointing. You know, there might be a swivel, I can't tell, but overall there's no wrist articulation, which is a big bummer. Really, they missed out by using this mold. It's a bad mold. And then this, of course, looks quite nice, but it is just a repaint, like I've said. Love that background. And then this Spider-Man, of course, he looks really cool. It looks like he has some really good articulation. It kind of looks like he has a Marvel Legends 6-inch series articulation style in a 3 3/4 inch mold, which I think is fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to this figure itself. However, the character, I have no clue who he is. But he looks nice. He really does. Hope he comes with some guns, too. He's got those trigger fingers. And then Trident here does use a Infinite Series mold, as you can see, lacking wrist as well as torso articulation. However, he does have ankle articulation. It looks like they are rockers, which is nice. But overall, he looks quite plain there, and his skin seems to be a plain green without any shading. Then we come to this guy. What is it? Yoke? I don't know. Again, he looks too big. Like that, the image of him makes him look a lot smaller. But I do like this mold a lot, and it does seem to be painted quite well with a very light yellow with a brown mixed into it. Gives it a natural look, and they've added some wonderful lines in there. So overall, it's an awesome mold, but just a really weird looking character. I don't know anything about him. And then we have Yondu. Yeah, that's a shame. He does have a hinge swivel elbow, yet he is lacking wrist articulation and any torso articulation. And that's a big disappointment, because wrist articulation is going to be important in somebody who's using a bow, so that is disappointing that we do not get. But overall, he is looking great, and I am very much looking forward to Yondu. So there you go. That's the new series for the 3 3/4 inch Marvel. They are using a Marvel Legends subtitle in there now, and overall some interesting looking figures. Nothing fantastic there, but definitely it is interesting. I'll be very curious to see what they do with this line, and I hope that they do try to take it back more to the Marvel Universe standards rather than sticking with the Infinite series, because the Universe was definitely a far superior toy line to the Infinite. So yeah, there you go. That's my video review of the Marvel Legends 3 3/4 inch figures. Let me know what you guys think of these, and thanks for watching.